What's the one thing you'll never tell your so? Story 1. So, I believe it was March 1993 and a huge blizzard swept the East Coast. I was young, bored and extremely horny. I didn't know then what exactly it was that I was feeling, but knew that it was normal for my age. Well, we were out of school for what must have been 3 weeks, but felt like an eternity. I wasn't around anyone my age. There were no girls in my neighborhood and obviously no internet for browsing of a certain kind, but even if there was, I'd definitely be too afraid to attempt it. One evening before dark, I decided enough was enough and I couldn't handle the urge anymore. I had been holding back for weeks because I was too embarrassed to do anything in the bathroom. The guilt and anxiety of someone catching me was too much. My room wasn't an option because the door didn't lock, and when my door was shut someone would ask why or just open it. It was far too risky, and I couldn't jeopardize my reputation of being the only normal one in my family. I threw on my snow clothes and scuttled off into the wilderness behind my house with a plan. I wasn't sure I'd actually do it, but I wasn't exactly thinking straight either, for obvious reasons. Once I arrived at my destination, I decided to slide down into a gully that was about 15 feet deep. I sat there for a few minutes and listened for footsteps in case someone saw me, but it was silent, completely silent, where I could almost hear my inner voice say, "Don't do it, man. This is the moment of no return," I told myself. I was like a runaway train, never going back, wrong way on a one-way track. Anyway, I got to work and started shaping Snow into a female body. She had boobs, curves, and the necessary inlet. I unzipped and went ahead with the task that lay before me, and within a minute or so it was all over. A few seconds of guilt and shame overcame me as I zipped up and erased the evidence. I crawled out of the gully back through the woods to my house. I went to my room and tried my best to forget her, but to my surprise that would be impossible, and every time it snows, I still think of her. Story 2. I'm disabled. He works and brings home the bag. We do get disability pay, so it's still 2 incomes. I'm mostly clean, but my health gets in the way a lot. But man, I don't think I can ever tell him just how guilty I feel over my inability to consistently contribute. I hate that my disability and health overshadow some days. He gets home from work, and the minute he sees how sick I feel that day, he drops everything and ignores his own exhaustion to fuss over me. He should be able to come home to a meal cooked and a relaxing night of sitting on his ass before the next day of work. Sometimes he does get that, but a lot of times it's just us making food together and cuddling and gaming rather than me being able to take care of him. I hate it deeply. Story 3. An old girlfriend from college found me and tried asking for another chance to date me, so I went on one date night with her, but had to show her my engagement ring, and boy oh boy was she mad I was spoken for. Again, just for clarification, I am bisexual. My husband knows this. He was aware when we were dating, but I am married to him now. The week after my husband asked me to marry him, an ex-girlfriend from college found me. Now she was someone I was with for a year, but during that year I learned very quickly was controlling, telling other people to back off from me even if it was just a simple conversation, and I had enough. After Valentine's Day that I broke up with her, that I moved after I graduated college. 1 year later she found me, I don't know how, but somehow she did, and tried asking me on a dinner date, but I said I was not up for a dinner date, but I could do a friend dinner just to see if she had changed. When I was in the bathroom, some women came in talking about a crazy woman picking petals from roses she had just delivered to her table, citing, "She'll be mine again, she'll be mine again." When I asked what did she look like, I knew immediately who they were talking about, and I told them I was there with her just on a friend dinner to catch up because we had dated and broke up a year prior. After paying for myself, I put on my engagement ring I was not wearing when she found me because I was out jogging, and when she saw the ring she was furious, so furious I had to detain her when the restaurant staff had to call the police because of her behavior. The reason I have never told my husband about her is because I am protecting my husband from her because of her unpredictable nature. I haven't seen her in 14 years and I don't care to see her now. Story 4. I really don't like his mom. I despise being around her because we just don't talk at all. There's always a very awkward and uncomfortable tension whenever we're around each other. Anytime we do speak to one another, it's always forced small talk or about some more serious subject like work and finances, never anything fun and lighthearted. I can't relax around her. I feel like I have to be hyper aware of everything I do and say whenever I'm around her to try and gain her approval. I've been with my boyfriend for 1.5 years now, and she always excludes me from plans or trips she makes involving him, so it's just mommy and son. It's like I just don't exist to her. Everyone but him notices it. There's been times he'd ask if I wanted to come along or tell me I'm going to because he wants me to, but it's really not the same as if she invited me herself. They actually left to go to a 3-day festival tonight and won't be back till Monday. I really wanted to go to this festival with him and told him that, but she swooped in and bought tickets for just them two on the spot before I even had a chance to try and plan anything out with him. Can't really do anything about it now. Just gotta keep my mouth shut about it all. It is what it is, I guess. I'd like to hope it'll eventually get better, but I just don't think it will. Story 5. I don't like her cooking, but I consistently pretended to make her feel loved. Update, I came clean and we had a laugh about it. I mentioned it in another comment, but this relationship isn't that old. We're engaged, not married yet. Things have been chaotic for the last few years and it just never seemed like the right time to bring it up. We've moved 4 times, changed jobs, had dreams and family members die on us. It's been a ride. Also, her cooking wasn't god-awful to begin with. But it really could have been better. We're going to take a class together. We live in Jamaica, by the way. Very different dishes than what I'm supposing you all would be used to. Story 6. That I have been seriously considering divorce for about 18 months now. She never smiles, never says anything nice, and is always complaining about everything. The only reason that I don't leave is my 2 children. I'm almost 100% certain that she would escalate from just her verbal to physical abuse towards them. She had her uterus and ovaries removed 9 years ago and has completely lost interest in any form of affection. Not just the sex, though I miss that. I mean hugs and kisses, holding hands, wanting to be close. She thinks that buying me things would replace the lack of contact. Her close-mindedness has caused our daughter to stop talking to her about anything at all. Jean now confides in me about everything and is worried about what her mother would do if it was found out that she is more interested in girls than boys. I work 90 minutes away from our home and I had a small apartment close to my work so I wouldn't have to make the 3-hour round trip every day. I was forced to give up the apartment because we couldn't afford 2 households, but she keeps buying crap we don't need. She never cleans the house at all, always stating that no one else cleans up after themselves, so she's not going to anymore either. She uses her depression as an excuse for everything to get out of doing anything she doesn't like to do. If I thought I could get custody of the kids, I think I would leave in a heartbeat. Story 7. I feel trapped and feel like I have no say in my life. We got pregnant in college and I did not want to keep the baby. They wanted to keep it, so we had the baby. If we were going to have the baby, I wanted to live with them, but they did not want to live together unless we were married. I did not want to get married, but we did anyway. One of my lifelong dreams was to get a doctorate degree, but I was told no. I wanted to move out of state to get away from my abusive family, but was told no. When they said they wanted another baby and I said I did not, we fought and argued until I relented, and now we have another child. Sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy too. We argue about things and then they tell me that I said something, or they didn't say something, or it didn't happen that way, and I feel like I'm going crazy. I've started writing down conversations because at this point I have no idea if I'm losing my memory from a concussion I had a couple years ago or if they don't remember what really happened either. I feel like I have no control over my life and am just being told to do things. The homework is split with them doing more than me as I work full-time, but they tell me all the time about how I don't do anything around the house. I feel so trapped and depressed I just want to run away, but can't do that to my children.